Can we copy that?
Houston, Atlanta.
Go ahead.
Terry, we're in the process of taking pictures with the 400. We've got several other pictures as well, but the best view we got was through the binoculars, and the best way I can describe it is there's some kind of reflective cloth or with a metallic-looking type of cloth of a structure that's definitely not rigid, or it's not a solid metal structure. It also has some type of grounding strap coming off of it, a copper line, what appears to be a grounding strap. Doesn't look like anything I've ever seen on the outside of the shuttle, that's for sure.
Okay, copy. That helps. Thanks.
Okay, I don't know if you guys are still tracking it with the camera.
We actually can't see it anymore, Brett.
Okay, it started over window 8, then quickly moved towards the nose of the orbiter, and we tracked it through windows 1, 2, 3, 4, and now it's out sort of out window 5. It's moving away. The last focal length we had was well over 100 feet, an opening.
Okay, copy that.
This is Mission Control Houston with Atlantis Commander Brent Jett talking with astronaut Terry Virts here in Mission Control about an object the crew members noted outside the windows of the Space Shuttle Atlantis. Jett describing it as some kind of reflective or metallic looking cloth, but definitely not a rigid or metal object. Seen moving away from the space shuttle at least 100 feet, in his words. The crew also took digital still photos that will be downlinked to Mission Control. This is Mission Control Houston now with a mission elapsed time of 10 days, 20 hours, and 21 minutes. This view of the Space Shuttle Atlantis looking at the robotic arm operations with the shuttle robotic arm attached to the orbiter boom sensor system to continue inspections of Atlantis to ensure that it is in good shape for landing tomorrow. The mission managers, engineers, and flight control team have not determined any areas of interest for this sensor or camera survey of the orbiter, just using the procedure that is in place and the time available to inspect all the critical surfaces of the space shuttle. The instrumentation communications officer here in Mission Control operating the payload bay cameras with reflections in the camera lens as it looks past the Space Shuttle Atlantis.
Digital downlink.
We do see that.
Okay. That's looking out in front of the orbiter.
Okay, we're seeing 3 or 4 objects. Can you confirm that it's just the one that's actually moving? The other ones are just reflections?
No, there are 3 objects. The one you see 2 rings right there. They're the ones we kind of had the late tally-ho on. The one down the bottom, that was the one we initially saw that appeared to be foil. So we've got like 2 rings and then the piece of foil. The piece of foil seems to be further in front with the grounding strap on. It seems to be further in front of the other 2, and the other 2 seem to be about the same equidistant from both us and the forward one.
Copy that.
The crew actually commanding this payload bay camera to look at the objects observed out the flight deck windows.
Atlantis.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how close we are to the trajectory flown by the Soyuz.
And we're asking. We're going to check on that, but while we're waiting for that, we're thinking, based on our daylight and KU availability, if we can get back to the OBSS inspection and maybe use the still cameras to photograph these objects.
Yeah, we understand. We're getting back to OBSS.
Thanks.
Good morning and welcome to today's STS-115 mission status briefing. With us this morning are Entry Flight Director Steve Stitch. Also with us is STS-115 Lead Flight Director Paul Dye. Both these gentlemen just coming off console after a day of inspections. We'll go with statements first and then move on to questions. Steve?
Thank you very much, Kelly. Let's see. Talk a little bit about what we did today. Today, of course, yesterday when we were talking about landing, and as you well know, we saw an object yesterday, and mission management team met yesterday, and we spent the time today inspecting the vehicle. We did 2 different sets of inspections. The first one was using the shuttle's remote manipulator system. We looked at both wing leading edges, we looked at the nose cap, and we looked at the under surface of the shuttle. In those inspections with the starboard with the RMS system, we didn't see any evidence of any kind of damage. About the only remarkable thing we saw was that the gap filler on the starboard ET door and the little piece of shim stock on the port ET door was no longer there. So far the inspections are going